Hey there, good people. It's your girl Memphis Jones, and I am coming to you with the old school April tag that I just couldn't wait to get involved in. I recently watched see Alex Unabridged do his, and I was so inspired by his video that I decided that I was going to jump on board and do it myself because so many of those questions brought back my childhood. As a Gen Xer, so and I feel like a Gen Xer may have written these questions. I'll have to go back and look and see who the origin of the tag is and see if that person identifies as a member of Gen X. At any rate, come on down memory lane and let's do this thing. All right. So, question one, and I like how these questions are broken down with like these headings. The first heading is Reading Rainbow. Come on, y'all. PBS. I can do anything. Take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow. Shaka Khan. Did y'all know that's who that was? Shaka Khan, baby. She was wearing us out with that. But anywho and anyhow, let's get to the question itself while I'm trying to sing and everything, waking up my household. Um, so the question is, what book, author, or series got you into reading? And I believe that I'd answered this question during my BookTube newbie tag. But the very first book series that got me into reading was the Little Golden Book series. Um, and I believe the first 12 books are the original books, and it's the Golden Rule scenario. But I want to give a special shout out to the Bible, honey, because I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee, part of the Bible Belt. And yeah, you were reading. You were reading so that you had an understanding of what the preacher was putting down. Even if you did read the children's version of the book, you needed to be able to keep up with what was going on. So, special shout out to OG, the Bible. I crack myself up sometimes. Anyway, you gotta laugh. What author or book got you into your current favorite genre? Hmm. Well, because I'm currently reading veteran centric books, military veteran centric books, because we all have a story to tell, I would say that in the last couple of years that I've lived in the DMV, the very first veteran centric or veteran published book that I ever read was, um, let's see, Joy. Joy Pearson. See if you can see that here. Can you see that here? Live Life with Joy. She is a sweetheart. She is an award winning realtor in the area and Army veteran. And this was the first book I read by a veteran author when I moved to the area. And that has gotten me into a bit of a phase of reading veteran authored books. Um, because, we have a very unique way of seeing and dealing with things. And when it's put in book form, sometimes it helps us to be able to go back and see how someone who's had similar experiences may have dealt with something um, that we're coming up against at the time. If that makes sense. I know it does if you think about it. The next category is mixtape. And this is so fun because mixtapes was the thing, right? If you had new music, if you're a rapper, you're on the scene, you're selling mixtapes out of the trunk of your car. I personally have not mixed tapes but mixed CDs. And so that to me was pretty fun to see these categories. As again, I said, I'm pretty sure it's a Gen X thing. The question is, what was the first concert you ever went to? Let me tell you again, because of my upbringing, it wasn't like I was going to a bunch of concerts that weren't church related. However, my first, I believe, secular concert that I ever went to was to see Brian McKnight. And at this time, I was a young woman, 19, I think, but I was already in the military. And so I attended Brian McKnight's concert in Little Rock, Arkansas, and that was a lot of fun because he was sexy then. I don't know what's going on with him now, but he was sexy then. So moving on. What band or artist do you love but never got to see live? Unfortunately, I would have to put Miss Whitney Houston in this category because I never got to see her live, but her voice was amazing. I remember when The Bodyguard came out and I went to see that movie and I was just blown away by the chemistry between her and Kevin Costner. I just wished that the two of them had become an actual couple. I don't know. Maybe she would be here with us if she had done so. But I love their chemistry, and I don't think that it was just for the movies, honestly. I think that was natural chemistry between the two of them. Um, I always feel like somebody's watching me. Yes, so that's the next category. And I'll tell you, I love that song, but that's not Michael Jackson's song. Michael Jackson is singing background vocals, but that is not actually him. I think he produced the song. I can't remember the actual artist, but I'll figure it out and put it in the notes at the bottom. But when you first hear it, you think, "Oh my God, this is Mike's song," but it's not. He's the background vocals, and he's doing the hook with the actual singer. So anyway, that's not the question. What was your favorite cartoon while growing up? I had a hard time with this particular question. Here's why. When I would get home from school, and I want to say this was maybe fifth or sixth grade. When I would get home from school, there was a series of cartoons that came on one after the other. And if I'm correct, this was Rescue Rangers, Chip, 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 and Dale. Rescue Rangers, Chip, 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 and Dale, when there's danger. So, them, um, and I want to say it was Scrooge McDuck and his nephews, and Darkwing Duck, the hero duck. I believe those were the three that came on back to back. Um, but for some reason, I also want to say, I don't know. It was a series that came back to back, but I do remember that Rescue Rangers and Scrooge McDuck was part of the lineup. And so I was always totally excited. I got home from school same time every day. Walked home, got home just in time to turn that TV on and watch those particular cartoons. It was almost like my decompression between my school time and time to do your homework. So it gave me like a little break in between. Watch your cartoons, have dinner, do your homework, time for bed. Kind of kept me in a rhythm, so to speak. Um, I also used to like Thundercats. Thunder, 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 Thundercats. Thought I was a Thundercat baby. Anyway, name a TV show or movie that is tied to a good memory. Okay, so I grew up with my cousins, and there are several movies where we knew all the words, all the songs, all the acts. we could reenact these movies along with the movie that we was watching. And one in particular is Sparkle. We knew all the dance moves, all the songs. Um, Sparkle got a remake a couple of years back. I want to say Whitney Houston may have had something to do with that remake. I can't fully remember, but I believe so. And maybe I may be making all of this up, y'all, but maybe Jordan Sparks was in Sparkle. I don't know. I gotta look it up, and I will link it. But I will link the original and the remake so that you will have context. But that is one of the movies that whenever we pop that tape in, we will be in our sleeping clothes and lined up, from the littlest to the biggest so we can do all the dance moves and, you know, sing. And my cousin was the oldest, so she was sister. And, if you don't know Sparkle, look it up and watch it. It's, I don't know, it's probably part of the whole black exploitation era. But it's a great movie nonetheless because it's a great story and it fits in line with the times of the 70s and fast money, fast women, fast cars, living a life on the edge, inner city life, and pretty much the only thing people thought that they had access to in order to come up was to live a gritty life, to get out of the slums of things. So I think you'll like it, honestly, if you give it a chance. Let's see here. Name your first TV or movie crush. This one was hard for me because I had them, but I didn't really focus too hard on it. But I do remember really, really, really liking um, the older guy from New Kids on the Block. He was like always, he was the quietest one, seems. I think his name was Danny. Um, Not to be confused with Donnie. I think his name was Danny. But he seemed to be the older one in the group, um, with a real strong jaw. Yeah, that's what got me. It was a strong jaw. He looked like a character from a cartoon or back then all of the like GI Joe and whatnot. They had that real chiseled, strong jaw, and that was supposed to denote a manly man. And he had that, and I'm like, he's a kid. I don't think he was actually. I think he was more like a 19 or 20-year-old at the time. But being that the group, I think they were all like different ages. So it was him. Let's see, y'all. Gotta catch 'em all. I never played Pokemon. Pokemon. I never got into Pokemon. I think I was just at that point too old to deal with it. And yes, I've seen adults playing Pokemon Go, um, looking at their phones, about to run into stuff, trying to play this game and follow the geocode or whatever it is. But that's our next category. And the question is, what was a toy you were obsessed with or collected as a kid? I didn't really have a lot of toys growing up. I didn't have like a lot of dolls, and I was never really interested. But I did have Play-Doh, and I was always pretending to cook something. I was always cutting some potatoes or making something, pretending to fry something. Um, which is funny now because I rarely cook, but yeah, I was always attempting or pretending like I was cooking something. Let's see. Plus, you could take it with you. And for the most part, it didn't take up much space. So um, if you was going to stay at somebody's house or something, you had, just Play-Doh, it wasn't going to take up a whole lot of space in their house. And, I was always really concerned about the amount of space I was taking up in somebody's house. Um, let's see. Pac-Man fever. I played Pac-Man a time or two. Name a board game or video game you associate with your childhood. Um, I think the first board game that I ever owned was the Game of Life. But I also remember playing Memory with a neighbor that lived downstairs from me. Um, we were in elementary school, and she had like a closet full of various games, but I always wanted to play Memory whenever I went over. Cause just it's a game of chance. There's no rhyme or reason as to how you're gonna get the same cards until you start to see and pull more cards as the game progresses. Then it's actually strategy. But initially, when you start out, it felt like there was no actual rhyme or reason with the game initially. So let's see. She's got the look. She's got the look. She's got the look. Name a clothing or trend that was popular when you were a kid. Acid washed jeans everywhere. Acid washed everything. The jackets, the jeans. I think I had a pair of acid washed kids. I think I had a pair of kids that looked like that. My mom was really good at matching clothes. And she could just find stuff and make full outfits and and she could sew. So you just never know what you was gonna end up with, because whatever design she was coming up with, you was gonna wear it, whether you agreed, didn't agree, liked it, didn't like it, you was gonna wear it. Let's see. I want candy. Name a childhood snack or candy you wish was still made. Honey, if the people who used to make screaming yellow zonkers is out and about in this world, will you please bring them jump back? I love screaming yellow zonkers. All the way up until I joined the military and was stationed in California, I could find screaming yellow zonkers. And I had to get them from the Dollar Tree at the time. And then all of a sudden, one day they were all gone. You can find nostalgia websites that will talk about it, but you are not going to find that popcorn. It was golden, toffee covered, no peanuts and almonds and all that crap. It was so good, y'all. You cannot find this. I don't know who they sold it to, the company. But them jokers stopped making it. And I'm highly upset about it because it's delicious. And I think you should let it come back. Honestly. How could I stop? What? Is it it? That's it. That's it, good people. Well, I hope you've enjoyed going down memory lane with your girl, Memphis Jones. Straight out of her bedroom, looking like she feel, which is tired. It is what it is. Well, let me get to editing so that I can get this posted. And I thank you so much for spending some time with me as we go down memory lane, doing the nostalgia. April, old school April tag. Brought back some great memories, didn't it? For me, it did. I don't know about you. But have a good night.